So, everyone here pretty much understands English? If you don't understand what I'm saying, raise your hand. Okay, I guess that's good. So we're going to sing, we'll sing a song. This is one of our favorite songs, Gauranga Karuna Koro. I'd like to try to explain this song a little bit. It's ascribed to Narottam Das Thakur, although it's not found in any of his writings, and we suspect that it may have been written by a later Vaishnav who wanted to glorify Narottam Das Thakur, but the mood of the song is right out of Chaitanya Charitamrita and from the songs of Narottam Das Thakur. So he sings it, Gauranga Karuna Koro, Dina Hina Jane. My dear Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Ami Dina Hina Jana. I'm very, very fallen. I don't have anything. And perhaps Mahaprabhu says, so many people say like that. He said, no, Mo Samo Patita Prabhu Nahi Tribhuvani. You don't know. In all the three worlds, there's no one as fallen as me. Dante Trina Dhori Gora, Daki He Tomar. That Dante Trina, I'm doing the song with straw in my teeth. Now let me ask you a question. You, if you have straw in your teeth, can you sing very loud? Can you sing very loud with straw in your teeth? No. So what does it mean? It has a purport. It has several meanings. One is that just sometimes like a child, it was my sister, or the dog ate my homework. It's not my fault, right? But when you have straw in your teeth, it means I accept the blame. I'm not going to defend myself. It has several meanings. Another meaning is that I'm not speaking from the lips, because I can't say anything with straw in my teeth. It's from my heart. Daki He Tomar, I'm calling out your name. So then perhaps Mahaprabhu says, okay, then what do you want? Kripa Kori, Eso Amma Hridoya Mandiri. I want to build a temple, because that's what Hare Krishna devotees do, right? We all build temples, right? Well, our first temple we should build is a temple in the heart. It doesn't require any money, and we should do that. So then perhaps the author of the song thinks, well, if I tell all these things about myself, how fallen I am, then perhaps Mahaprabhu won't give me mercy. So he says, Jari. Jari, if. Jari doya nakoribe patita dekiya. Perhaps you see how fallen I am and you don't want to give me mercy. I can understand. But in that case, we have to change your name. And he threatens Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Patita Pavana Nama Kishera Lagiya. He said, then we'll have to change your name. Everybody says you're Petit Pavan, you're the Savior, the fallen. But Mosamo Patita Prabhu Nahi Tribhuvani. I'm the most fallen person in all the three worlds. So if you don't save me, then how are you Petit Pavan? You're Shrestha Pavan. We have to change your name. And then perhaps Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, okay, I'll give you some mercy. But you have to stand in the queue. And you look, and the queue is going all the way from Bangalore to Jagannath Puri. It's a long queue. So then the author of the song, he sings, I can't wait in a queue. Puri Chibhavatu Fahane Nahi Kanistara. Shri Charana Tarani Dane Dase Koro Para. I can't wait in a queue. I'm drowning. I'm in the middle of the ocean. I'm so far away from the land I can't see the shore. And there's a terrible typhoon. And the waves are bashing me. I'm going to die. So I need help now. Sri Charanatani Dane Dasi Koro. Give me the boat of your lotus feet. And so then perhaps Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, okay, I'll give you the boat of my lotus feet, but do you have a ticket? Right? If you want to come on the Yatra, you have to have some ticket. Okay? Huh? No ticket, you can't get on board the boat. And the author says, I have a very good ticket. What is your ticket? Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dasiranu Dasa. My ticket is Srila Prabhupada. My ticket is my Gurudev. My ticket is that I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of you. And Pratana Koro Ye Sada Narotomo Dasa. This is the way he sings this song. And how often does he sing like this? Pratana Korori Sada. Sada. He's constantly crying out like this. Here in this Dham, we'll find there's two prominent moods, and it's a little confusing sometimes. There's what Srila Prabhupada once called Smarta Vichar, or the consideration of the Smarta Brahmins, who are largely followers of Lord Jagannath. And there's a Goswami Vichar, or the consideration of the 6 Goswamis and the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And sometimes it's a little confusing because the Smarta Vichar, they largely follow the Purushottam Mahatmya of the Skanda Purana. It's Shastra, but their mood is a little different than that of the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I like this song very much. This is a way that we can enter into the Dham and attract the attention of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we'll sing this together, and I just want your help. When we sing this, we'll sing one line at a time, but in between each set of lines, everybody all together, all at once, very loudly please. We'll sing the first 2 lines together. Gauranga Karuna Koro, Dinahina Jani, Mosamo Patita Prabhu, Nahi Tribhuvani. Is that okay? It's not too complicated? All right. Gauranga Karuna Koro, Dinahina Jane. 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 Mosamo Patita Prabhu, Nahi Tribhuvane. Mosamo Patita Prabhu, Nahi Tribhuvane. Mosamo Patita Prabhu, Nahi Tribhuvane. Dante Trina Dori Gora, Dake He Tumara. Dante Trina Dori Gora, Dante Trina Dori Gora, Dake He Tumara. Shawama Hridayam Gire Pakuri Shawama Hridayam Everyone all together, please. Gauranga Karuna Koro Amidina Gidoyan Nakori Patita Dikiya Gidoyan Nakori Patita Dikiya Patita Pavanama Kishera Lagiya Patita Pavanama Kishera Lagiya Everyone all together. Gauranga Karuna Koro Puri Chiba Vatufane Nahi Kanishaya Chiba Vatufane Nahi Kanishaya Shikharana Charanidane Dashe Guru Pana Gauranga Karuna Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dashiranasa Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dashiranasa Pratana Kuri Sada Narottamasa Pratana Kuri Sada Narottamasa Gauranga Karuna Koro One more time, please. Bolo, bolo. Gauranga Karuna Koro Ami Dina Dina Jani Mosami Patito Prabhu Nahi Jivu Oh Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Gauranga Karuna Koro Ami Dina Dina Jani Gauranga Karuna Koro Gauranga Karuna Koro Ami Dina Dina Jani Gauranga Karuna Koro Mosamo Patita Prabhu Nahi Tribhuvane Mosamo Patita Prabhu Nahi Tribhuvane Bolo Bolo Mosamo Patita Prabhu Nahi Tribhuvane Shri Prem Purushottam Sachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Gaur Premanandi Gauragra Ganya Gana Gotra Goloruharam Gauranga Gura Chama Gopyara Kopa Briksham Gopala Gada Ratidam Yati Singha Gora Govinda Deshi Kavaram Satatam Namami Uttama Adama Kichuna Bachi Lajachi Adile Kakola Kahe Premananda Emana Gauranga Hridoya Dariya Bola Bhaja Gauranga Kaha Gauranga Laha Gaurangera Namare Jai Jana Gauranga Bhaje Se Hoy Amar Pranare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Yasyaiva Padam Bhuja Bhakti Labhya Prema Bidana Padama Pumata Tasmai Jagan Mangala Mangalaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Madhavirapi Gopala Srikuryat Kripaya Jadi Tadaiva Sampaya Pidva Rishayus Tat Priya Janaha Shri Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Sasanatana Rupaka Gopala Raghunathapta Brajabala Bapahimam Nilachala Nivasaya Nichaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadravyam Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Kadachit Kalindita Tavipina Sangita Karavo Mudabidi Narivadana Kamalasvada Madupa Rama Sambhu Brahma Madapati Ganesha Chitapado Jagannatha Swami Noyana Patagami Bhavatume Bolo Jagannatha Swami Noyana Patagami Bhavatume. So I'm very happy to get some chance to be here with all of you today. Actually, before I started, I wanted to ask some questions. I came here to help the devotees in the Yatra. Can I see a short? Are they giving you enough prasadam? Yes? No. The organizers are being nice to you, or yes or no? If you have any complaints, you let us know. We have some connections in the police. Okay. So, I'd like to share with you today a few thoughts about this Dham. Because when we go on Yatra, we have to have a purpose. In traditional Indian Vedic culture, before you begin any important activity, you start with sankalpa, a meditation. Basically, what I'm going to do, a statement. On this day, at this time, at this place, this family, we're going to do this thing for this purpose. Sankalpa is important, because if we don't have a sankalpa, then what are we doing? Maybe we're just coming to the Dham just to have some fun, take bath in the ocean, have some nice prasadam, like that. I somehow, by the mercy of my revered spiritual master, we've been living in this Dham, in Orissa and Bhubaneswar and Puri, for the last 32 years. And I've seen many, many people come. There's thousands of people who come to Puri. And almost everyone who comes, they also come to have darshan of Jagannath. Very good. We're very happy. But what is their concept in coming before Jagannath? They tug their ears, they slap their faces. Dhanam dehi, rupam dehi, rup. You please give me some wealth. Please find a nice boy for my daughter to marry. They come with some prayer like that. The majority of people. And they're pious persons. We might call them Hindus. And we give them all respect. But they also come and then they go to have some nice samudra phala, some nice fruit from the ocean, which is fish. Or they come to watch some movies or whatever. And it's nice, Jagannath's also here. That's the vast majority of people. Out of 100,000 such persons, maybe you'll have one or two who are coming to the Dham to do bhajan. But if you take 100,000 or 1,000 of those persons who are coming to do bhajan, how many of them are thinking about the pleasure of Jagannath? They're coming here because, oh, I'll go on that yatra. It'll be very good for me. I'll get lots of spiritual benefit. I'll become more advanced. And that's the mood that they come in. That's also okay. We're very, very happy. That's a very pious, very extraordinary person. But out of 1,000 such persons, maybe you might have one who's coming to do Dham Seva, who's coming here to serve Lord Jagannath, to serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to serve Jagannath Puri. And what is the best Dham Seva? It's Nam Seva. We come and we do loud kirtan because there's so much nonsense going on even in the Dham today. And people are eating unspeakable things. They're doing so many sinful activities, and it covers over the Dham. And people forget what this place is all about. So you may be coming here for so many different reasons, and I'm not going to judge that or complain about that, but I would strongly suggest that if you want the most benefit, then you come here with the attitude to do Dham Seva. What can we do to please Lord Jagannath? What can we do to please Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And the best thing to do is to do kirtan, loud kirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then people see, oh, that's what this place is all about. This place is a place for kirtan. It's a place for Krishna Katha. It's a place for Dham Yatra. So don't just come here just to take bath in the ocean and have some fun. That's there automatically. But come with a higher purpose to please Srila Prabhupada. And the best thing, I don't know if you're doing or not, but if you're not, you should, bring some of Srila Prabhupada's books also for distribution. We like to encourage the devotees on the yatras to do like that. So a question arises, what is this place? And again, there's so many different conceptions. For so many people, not to say anything negative about Bengalis, but for so many people from West Bengal, it's a place to go on chutti, on holiday. And there's so many restaurants serving fish and different things. Different people come to Puri with different conceptions. What is this place? Why did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come here? How many of you have been to Mayapur? Raise your hand. Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki. Jai. How many of you have been to Vrindavan? Raise your hand. Very good. So I have a question for you. You're obviously very learned, special devotees. How many stones did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, don't be tricky, I'm not talking about Krishna. How many stones did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu melt in Mayapur? I don't know of any. How many stones did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not Krishna, how many stones did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu melt in Vrindavan? Don't know of any. But do you know he melted 5 stones here in Jagannath Puri? Now, if we want to understand the nature of a Dham, Dham means the abode of the Lord, and this is a Nitya Dham. It's mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita that this Jagannath Dham, this is a place in the spiritual world. If we want to understand the abode of the Lord, how do we do that? One way that we do that is we look to see what kind of pastimes the Lord performs there. So, what you may have heard some things about Jagannath. Today I'd like to speak a little bit mostly about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and what kind of pastimes does he perform here. He performs Adbhuta Leela. Astonishing pastimes here. Pastimes which Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says are not recorded in any book. They're not found in any Shastra. Now he's Shastra Suni. No one's ever heard about them in any Shastra. No one's ever seen ecstasies like he exhibited here. Sometimes water was shooting out from his eyes like a squirt gun. Sometimes blood was coming from his skin. Sometimes his arms and legs became elongated. Sometimes his arms and legs shrunk inside of his body and became like a pumpkin. What kind of place is this? And we want to understand this place. The ecstasies that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited here, we don't find in Mayapur. We don't find in Vrindavan. Why were his ecstasies so great here? What is the nature of this place? Now, some people say that Jagannath Puri is like Vaikuntha. And I can understand that. You walk on this grand road. It's so crowded. So many people, so many festivals and things going on. It's a very noisy, crowded place, like Vaikuntha. It's not like Vrindavan. Prabhuji came to our place today. It's very quiet there. We like a nice, quiet place. But in Jagannath Puri, it's very difficult to find a quiet place. And this is not the Jagannath Mandir. This is the Sri Mandir. Ladies have prominence here. Be nice to the ladies. This is the Sri Mandir. It's the place of Lakshmi Devi. Now, Prabhuji was mentioning, we did some research some years ago. We've done a lot of research about Jagannath. Actually, we have a research institute here in Puri called GORA, the Gaudiya Odia Research Association. And one of the things that we made, Prabhuji was mentioning, is this magazine we call The Hidden Identity of Lord Jagannath. Krishna Chaitanya Maharaj, our scholarly sannyasi guru in ISKCON, commented to me afterwards. He said, Prabhuji, he said, nobody's even asked this question. Where's Radharani with Jagannath? Much less answered it. That's another discussion. I'm not going to go there right now. But my point is just that this place is a place of opulence. Now, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says that Aishvarya Priti Sankuchita, that opulence, Aishvarya, makes love shrink. So this is the place of great opulence, right? But we see that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood, it didn't shrink. When Arjun saw the Virat Rup, the universal form of the Lord, he became frightened. And he started offering prayers, Deva, Deva, Jagatpate, you're the God of gods. Dosha kami moadami koroni jadas, please forgive me for my offenses. Make me your servant. One day in Vrindavan, most of the Brijbasis, headed by Nanda Maharaj and Rohini and Balaram, had gone to Upananda's house for the birthday of Lord Balaram. And they left Mother Yashoda behind with Kanu, with Krishna, and some of his friends. And some of his friends came running to him and said, Mata, you're Gopal. He's been eating matti, dirt. Mother Yashoda was very upset. She called, hey, Gopal, come here. Have you been eating dirt? And little Krishna put his hand in front of his mouth, turned his head, and said, no, Mata, I've not been eating dirt. Mother Yashoda, let me see your mouth. Open your mouth. And she opened her mouth, and she got a big surprise. We know. She saw all the universes and all the devatas and all the countries in the universe, all the places. And she saw herself looking in the mouth of her little boy. Did she become frightened at that time? Yes. But not in the same way that Arjun became frightened. Mother Yashoda, she thought, what is this? It's a boot. A ghost. A ghost has entered into my Gopal. But at that time, Mother Yashoda, there was no one there to help her. But those village ladies, they know some things. They're very expert. Don't underestimate them. So she'd heard that Gobar, cow dung, will drive away Bhoot. So she went to the Goshala, and she filled up a bucket of Gobar, and she came back, and she had her Gopal stand there, and she started smearing Gobar all over his hair, and all over his face, and all over his whole body. And Krishna's standing there with his Gobar all over his body, and he's thinking to himself, whenever I show my Virat Roop, everyone offers prayers. But here in Vrindavan, they just smear my body with cow dung. Mataji, what's your name, young man? You, with a Batman shirt. Is it a Batman shirt? Satvik. You're a Satvik person? Or he's a Badmash person? So maybe you can do a drama and Satvik can play Gopal, and you have a big bucket of Gobar and you smear it all over him like that for this. Is a good idea, Satvik? Yes? So in Vrindavan, there's no mood of Aishvarya like that. So then what is Jagannath Puri? And how is it that in Jagannath Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu melted his footprints in the Jagannath Mandir? He melted 3 fingerprints in the doorway. You'll see that maybe today, just before the Garuda Stamba. He melted his body print at Alarnath. Some of you saw yesterday. He was rolling on the ground. He melted a Govardhan Shila with his thumbprint. And if you go close to Jagannath, there's a handprint when he first came in the Jagannath Mandir. And he fell down in ecstasy in front of Jagannath. He melted the stone 5 times here in Puri. So what is this place? So I'd like to try to address that a little bit. First of all, I like paintings. Prabhuji was seeing in our ashram today, we have many paintings. If you have a painting, it's nice, but it helps if you have a frame. Something you put around the painting, it gives it some sense, it gives it some more sense of beauty. So in a similar way, I like to put a frame, picture frame, on this dham to help us to understand it. And I call this the Jagannath Puri University of Krishna Prem, Braj Prem. This is a place where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to open a university to teach us how to get Braj Prem. And he did that by showing us to do bhajan. And this dham is a place of bhajan. And what are we coming here for? So I can have some photos for Instagram, for Facebook. I can tell people I was there. I get a t-shirt. I went to Jagannath Puri Yatra. Like that. You should understand this place. And this place, every grain of dust, the walls, the air in this place, they're psychically scarred. And the word samskar also, that's another meaning of the word samskar, to be scarred, to be marked. Because here in this place, Raghunath Das Goswami did his bhajan. Rupa Goswami did his bhajan. Sanatan Goswami did his bhajan. Haridas Thakur did his bhajan. Gadadhar Pandit did his bhajan. Swarup Damodar, Roy Ramananda, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did his bhajan. And this place is psychically scarred with the mood, the feeling, the emotions of that bhajan. And we want to come and collect some of those emotions which are here. But how do we do that? You don't do that with an ordinary bucket, an ordinary pot. We have to do that with our heart. And we come and we collect it by doing nam bhajan, by going on the street every day where we're going and we chant very loudly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And if you collect some of that bhav from this place, then your yatra is a successful yatra. That's our purpose in coming here. So, as I mentioned, this place is understood differently by many different persons. And I'd like to share with you a few thoughts about that. Some people say that this place is like Vaikuntha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here in Puri, he stays in the house. What place does he stay? The Gambhira. Whose house is the Gambhira? It's the house of Kashi Mishra. Now, who is Kashi Mishra in Krishna Leela? Kavi Karnapur describes Mathurayam Pura Yasit Sarindri Krishna Vallabha Sadinilatravasa Kashi Mishra Prabhu Priya. The Kashi Mishra previously was known as Kubja. Where does Kubja live? She doesn't live in MVT, in Vrindavan. Where does Kubja live? She lives in Mathura. Who is responsible? It's kind of a postgraduate question. Who's responsible for bringing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Jagannath Puri? Why? Let me ask you another way. He left his mother, Sachimata. He left Vishnu Priya. Why did he do that? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not a brahmachari. Satvik, you shouldn't be a brahmachari. What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a mamachari. He was very attached to his mother. And Satvik, you'll be a mamachari. Krishna's a mamachari. He likes his mother very much. So how could he leave his mother? Who was it who took him away from his mother? There's someone whose name is Keshava Bharati. Keshava Bharati is a person who gave Mahaprabhu sannyas and thereby took him away from Navadvip. So who is Keshava Bharati in Krishna Leela? According to Srila Kavi Karnapur, he says that Keshava Bharati was Akrura. Akrura is a personality who takes Krishna away from Vrindavan. So, based on those two statements, then we can say that Jagannath Puri is Mathura, or like Dwarka. Okay? Is everybody satisfied with that? It'll make it very easy. We'll go ahead and stop now, and maybe you can all take prasadam. You're satisfied? Should I try to go a little further? It's a very confidential subject. So Kavi Karnapur says that Keshava Bharati was previously Akrura. Akrura is a personality, again, who took Krishna away from Vrindavan. But we're not satisfied with that, because even in Vrindavan, Krishna didn't exhibit these kind of ecstasies. Now, some years ago, I'll tell you a personal story. It was during Kartik. I'd gone to Vrindavan. I was requested to give the Bhagavatam class in the Krishna Balaram Mandir. I was very nervous, honestly. It's Kartik time and the temple's full. There was probably 6 or 8 different senior sannyasis there. And they want me to give the class. Oh my God, right? So I was but they asked me, so I prepared very carefully for the verse. I was ready. I went into the temple room that morning just 5 minutes before class time. I looked on the board and I realized I'd prepared for the wrong verse. And so Sachinanda Maharaj was there at that time. He's a little affectionate to me. So I'm a badmash. I went to Sachinanda Maharaj and I said, Maharaj, I'm not qualified to speak. How can I speak in front of you? You should speak this morning. And Sachinanda Maharaj said, no, man, I'm Madhavanand. I came to hear from you. I said, Maharaj, I prepared for the wrong verse. You please speak. And Sachinanda Maharaj, who was here with us, and previously we took him on some parikrama in Orissa, he said, you should say something about Jagannath Puri. Okay. So he sat down and I kind of twisted the subject matter a little bit and brought it to Jagannath Puri, and everything went really good. Everybody was very happy. I could see their faces like this. At the end of the class, suddenly some devotee came running in. He was wearing saffron cloth, just one piece of cloth, one dhoti tied around his neck and wrapped around his waist. He came running in and he raised his hand. His name is Ayendra, Prabhu. And he was a little unhappy with me. He said, how can you say these things about Jagannath Puri? He said, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says that when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left Jagannath Puri to go to Vrindavan, his ecstasy increased 100 times more than when he was in Puri. And when he arrived in Mathura, his ecstasy increased 10,000 times more than that. And when he arrived in Vrindavan, his ecstasy increased 100,000 times more. Ha! Because Ayendra Prabhu, he's a Brijbasi. He loves Vrindavan. And I what can I do? I said, yes, Prabhu, that's true. But why did he leave Vrindavan? And why did he go back to Jagannath Puri? And why is it that the ecstasies that he experienced there, that he showed there, are unheard of, even in Vrindavan? A question comes in this regard. This is another postgraduate subject. Where did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stay in Vrindavan? He stayed in a place called Imli Tal. Well, some of you may have been there. How many of you have been to Imli Tal? Raise your hand. Not so many. Shriman Rasarasaram Bivam Sivata Tatastita Karshan Venuswanar Gopir Gopinata Shriyestunaha. One day at Vamsivat, Krishna was blowing on his flute and he was calling the gopis, and they performed the Rasa Leela there. And at that time, Srimati Radharani became a little Manini, little sulky. And she left the Ras Leela. So Radharani, one of her names is Rasa Biharani. She's the heroine of the Ras Leela. If there's no Radharani, there's no Ras Leela. And so Krishna became unhappy. And he left Vamsivat and he started searching on the bank of the Jamuna for Radharani. And he was going and he was calling, Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. And looking and looking. And finally he came to that tamarind tree, that Imli Tal. And sitting under that tree, he became so absorbed, meditating on Radha, that something amazing happened. Shama Sundar, blackish Krishna, the color of his skin changed and he became the color of Gora Sundar. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi. He became golden like Radharani, chanting Radhe, Radhe. Now, 5,000 years later, 4,500 if you want to be picky, the same Krishna came again to the same place. Only now he's in the mood of Radha. Radha Bhava Dyuti Suvalitam. Nomi Krishna Srupam. He's Krishna, but Radha Bhava Dyuti. The mood and the complexion of Radharani is predominating in Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He went to the same Imli Tal. He was experiencing some of the same feelings, but now he's experiencing the mood of Radha. Sometimes devotees, they say, why don't we chant Radhe, Radhe? It's nice to chant Radhe, Radhe, isn't it? But we have a better program. If you go before Srimati Radharani and you say Radhe, 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 what will she say? She may say, stop it. What are you doing? Don't make so much noise. Huh? She wants to hear the name Krishna, Krishna. So the same Krishna has come, but now Radha Bhava, Jyoti, the mood and complexion of Radharani. Nomi Krishna Swarupam. He's Krishna himself, but now he's in the mood. He has the complexion of Radha. And so he came there, and he's not chanting Radhe, Radhe this time. He's chanting Krishna, Krishna. And something happened to him. That Gora Sundar, that golden complexion changed, and he became Shama Sundar. He became blackish. And then he thought, this is very bad. He thought, I came here to taste Radha Bhav, the mood of Radharani. But because Radharani's mood is so powerful, Krishna can't keep away. And even though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, he's Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. He's a combined form of Radha and Krishna. He's two opposites in one container, both union and separation in one body. He's both Radha and Krishna, but the mood of Radha is predominant in Gora. But because Radharani's mood in Vrindavan is so powerful, Krishna can't keep away. And so when Mahaprabhu starts doing Krishna bhajan in Vrindavan, then Krishna comes. His Krishna side manifests. And he thinks, this is very bad. I came here to taste the mood of Radharani, but I can't do it. Because Vrindavan Dham is the place of Milan, the place of union. And so he thought, I have to go somewhere else. In the Garga Samhita, there's a description given about how Krishna agreed to the appeal of the Devatas to come to this earthly planet to perform his pastimes. After he agreed, he noticed Srimati Radharani sitting off to the side, looking something like that. And Krishna asked her, hey, Pranavalabha, Radhe, what's wrong? And Radharani told him, you're Swatantra, you're independent, you can do whatever you want. But if you leave me, then I'll die. And Krishna said, no, definitely you'll come with me. And then Radharani, she said, Yatra Vrindavanam nasti, Yatra no Govardhan nasti, Yatra no Jamanu nadi, Tatra me namanasuk. I have no manasuk, no happiness where these three things are not found. The Vrindavan forest, Govardhan hill, and the Jamuna river. So Krishna said, no, they'll also come. And they manifested in Braj. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there at Imli Tal, and his golden complexion became black, he thought to himself, I can't taste the mood of Radha. This blackish complexion has come. The next thing, the Sikhi Picha, this peacock feather will come. Then my Vangsi will come. I'll become Krishna. And I won't be able to taste the feelings of separation from Radha. But if he wants to taste the mood of Radha, Yatra Vrindavanam nasti, Yatra no Govardhan nasti, Yatra no Jamuna nadi, Tatra namin manasuk. Radha has no happiness, so these three things are not found. So he has to be in Vrindavan. But it can't be Vrindavan. Because Vrindavan is the place of Milan, the place of union. It's very paradoxical. He had to go to a place which is two opposites in one container. A place which was Vrindavan, but it's not Vrindavan. It has to be Vrindavan. Tatra me namanasuk. Otherwise Radha has no happiness there. But it can't be Vrindavan, because in Vrindavan, this Krishna Roop, this Krishna Varna comes. So where did he go? He came here to Jagannath Puri. And in many places in our Gaudiya literatures, it's described about the nature of this place. In Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Srila Sanatana Goswami gives kind of a road map. If you go to the United States, it's a very big country, and you want to travel all over to different temples, you need a good map to show you before GPS. Best GPS is a Guru Parampara system. But you want a map book. So Sanatana Goswami gave us a map book. A book of a map of the whole universe. It's called Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Highly recommended. Very nice book, very sweet, many nice pastimes. It tells the story, amongst other things, of a great devotee whose name was Gopakumar. And how Gopakumar in Boma Vrindavan, he didn't know about Krishna, but one day a great saint gave him a mantra, a Gopal mantra. He didn't even explain what it meant. He said, chant this mantra. Yes, sir. And that sadhu disappeared. Krishna later told Gopakumar, I was that sadhu. I came as your guru, Jayanta, to give you that mantra. And so Gopakumar was chanting that mantra. It was a lot cheaper than buying plane tickets. He was going to Indralok and Vayulok and Shiva Lok and Brahma Lok and going to all different planets in the universe, and he wasn't satisfied anywhere he went. Finally he went to Vaikuntha, but he wasn't satisfied there either. He thought, well, there's something wrong with me. This is the best place. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is here, but I'm not satisfied. And someone came and whispered in his ear, hey, there's a better place. Finally he ended up in Dwarka. And in Dwarka, it was good. He saw Krishna. Sometimes in Dwarka, Krishna had two arms. Sometimes he saw him with a flute, Sanatana Goswami says. Sometimes he saw him with some cows. And Gopakumar, who was a Gwala, cowherd boy, he related to that. But other times, there's so many Brahmins, and they're all chanting, Om Sahasra Sirsa Purusaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat Sabhumin Visvato Vritya Atyatista Dasangulam. They're chanting Purusha Shukta. The Lord has thousands of arms and thousands of eyes. And Gopakumar says, yeah, right, okay. I like Vrindavan. What is all this? And so finally one day, perhaps from a dark alley, like someone in Delhi, if you go downtown, someone's selling watches in the dark. Hey, psst, come here. Want to buy a watch? Narad Muni was there. Said, hey, come here. And he told him, Tasmin Subhadra Balaram Samyutas Tamvai Vinodham Purushotamo Bhajet Chakresa Govardhana Brinda Katavi Kalinda Jatira Bhuvi Swayam Hiyam. He said, you're not going to be happy here in Dwarka. He said, there's another place. You've been there before, Gopakumar. That place is called Jagannath Puri. And there, Tasmin Subhadra Balaram Samyutas, you'll find Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. But you'll also find three other things. Brindakatavi, you'll find the Vrindavan forest. You'll find the Jamuna river. And you'll find Govardhan hill. Because Jagannath Puri is Gupta Vrindavan. It's a hidden compartment of Vrindavan. It's a compartment in Vrindavan of separation. It's a very esoteric postgraduate subject. I'll just touch on it. But Srila Jiva Goswami and Krishna Sandarbha and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Sarta Darshini commentary on the 47th chapter, 46th and 47th chapters of the 10th canto, they describe that there's two compartments in Vrindavan. There's a compartment of union and there's a compartment of separation. Because in Vrindavan, Vrindavana parityaga padikam nagachati. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. But it seems like he leaves Vrindavan. Akrura comes and takes him away. So there are two different compartments. This Jagannath Puri is that Vrindavan compartment of separation. This is Vrindavan Dham. But it's not Vrindavan Dham. Vrindavan Dham is in UP. The ocean is here. There's no ocean in Vrindavan. But here, in Jagannath Puri Dham, Mathura Dwaraka Lila Yakodoti Chagokule Nilachalastita Krishnasta Eva Rachati Prabhu. Vaishnav Tantra describes Mathura Dwaraka Lila Yakodoti Chagokule Nilachalasta, that whatever pastimes took place in Mathura, in Dwarka, and Gokul Vrindavan, all those pastimes take place in Nilachal, in Jagannath Puri Dham. And the Purusha Bodhini Shruti of the Atharva Veda describes Yatra Bhargavi Jamuna, Govardhana Ratna Samasana, Bimala Sadosa Chandika, Sadosa Gopyaha. That here in Jagannath Puri, you'll find three things. Yatra Bhargavi Jamuna. The Bhargavi River, which you're going to be going to. If you're going to Dandabanga, you're going to go to Dandabanga. Coming around Jagannath Puri, there's a river, somewhat like the river, the Jamuna goes around Braj. So the Bhargavi River is non-different from the Jamuna. Yata Bhargavi Jamuna. The Purusha Bodhini Shruti of the Atharva Veda describes as Yata Bhargavi Jamuna. Govardhana Ratna Samasana. And Govardhan Hill, from Chaitanya Charitamrita, we understand is non-different from Chatak Parvat. But the Purusha Bodhini Shruti says it's also found in the Jagannath Mandir. And when you go, the Ratna Singhasan, the jewel throne that Lord Jagannath sits on, which they say is made out of over 1 million shalagram shilas. That Ratna Singhasan is non-different from Govardhan. Bimala Sadosa Chandika. So then perhaps Satvik, he's thinking, right? I don't think you're not thinking about girls yet, right, Satvik? No. Girls are bad, right? Yeah? I know. Okay. Later on, you'll probably change your mind. Yeah? So maybe you're thinking, where are the gopis? We want gopis. Bimala Sadosa Chandika Sadosa Gopyaha. In Braj, there's 16 gopis, which, by the way, according to the Gaur Govinda Smarana Archana Padidi, written here in Jagannath Puri by Dhyan Chandra Goswami, which Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks about in his Jaiva Dharma. In Dwarka, the Lord is known as Purna. He has 14 Shaktis. In Mathura, he's known as Purnatara. He's more complete. He has 15 Shaktis. And in Vrindavan, he's Purnatama, Purna Uttama. He's the most complete, and he has 16 full Shaktis. Here in Jagannath Puri, according to the Purusha Bodhini Shruti, the Lord has 16 full Shaktis. The gopis of Braj, the Astasakis and the Astamanjaris, who are the personifications of those 16 Shaktis, are manifested here in the form of these different Chandis, headed by goddess Bimala Devi, who you'll also have darshan of inside of the Jagannath Mandir today. So this place is very dear to the Lord, and Sanatana Goswami says in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Shri Krishna Devasya Sada Priyam Tat Chaitam Yata Shri Mathura Tataiva. He says that here, this place, just as Mathura Vrindavan is very dear to the Lord, so also is Jagannath Puri. But Paramaishvarya Bara Prakasha, this place, there's great opulence manifested. It says Param Aishvarya, not just Aishvarya, but Param Aishvarya. The most opulence. Param Aishvarya Bara Prakasha Lokanusari Vyavahara Ramyam. Let's consider these three dhams briefly for a moment. Vrindavan Dham is Madhurja Moyi Dham. It's a place of sweetness. Navadvip Dham is Odarja Moyi Dham. It's a place of munificence, of kindness and mercy. And Jagannath Puri Dham, it's a combination of three things. Tat Paramaishvarya, there's great, great opulence. But there's also mercy in this place. Lord Jagannath is the only principal deity in all of India who comes out of the temple every year to see his devotees. And every day he gives his darshan as Patit Pavan. This is a place of great mercy. But it's also a place of great opulence, a place of great mercy. Lokanusari Vyavahara Ramyam. And Sanatana Goswami says it's also a place of great sweetness. And in the Jagannath Mandir, Lord Jagannath says in Mahaprasad. This is something one of the Pandits gave me. This is called a Gita Govinda Kandua. Lord Jagannath wears this every night. This has verses written on it from Jayadev Goswami's Gita Govinda. And every night, Lord Jagannath wears this dress called the Bada Shringara Besh. Bada in Oriya means great. Shringara means Shringara Ras. Besh means dress. It's the dress of the great Shringara Ras. And Lord Jagannath wears this every day. And they say that at that time the gopis come to see Lord Jagannath. It's a place of great sweetness. And Maharaj Prataparudra, there's a plaque inside the Jagannath Mandir which is made by him announcing that Jagannath is Gita Govinda Thakur. He is the deity of the Gita Govinda, which is a very, very esoteric, highly elevated literature about the intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna. This is Jagannath. And the Gambhira, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is hearing this Gita Govinda, along with the songs of Chandidas and Vidyapati, from the lips of Sarup Damodar and Roy Ramananda, who are actually Lalita and Vishaka. So this is also a place of great sweetness. It's a place, it's the Jagannath Puri University of Braj Prem. It's a place where we want to come to learn how to do bhajan to attain Vrindavan. Because Raja Bhagavan Bhajay Sataniyas Tadama Vrindavanam. The topmost abode is Vrindavan. This is the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he came here to teach us how to do bhajan to attain Vrindavan. When he wanted to attain the mood of Radha, he came here to Jagannath Puri and he heard from Lalita and Vishaka. They sang different songs for him so he could understand the mood of Radha. And therefore his ecstasy increased so much, he melted 5 stones in this place. He never melted stones in Mayapur or in Vrindavan. His ecstasy here was so inconceivable. So this is something about this Jagannath Puri Dham. Please, I want to encourage all of you. This place is described in the Skanda Purana. Skanda Purana says that this Paramaishvarya Bhara Prakasha, Lokanusari Vyavaharam. He said, the Skanda Purana says, verses escaping my mind, that this place is a very confidential place. It's called Gupta Dham, a hidden place. And for those persons who have smarta vichar, who just come here just to have darshan of Jagannath, just to do the right thing, offer some prayers, dhanam dehi, rupam dehi, please give me some money, give me a nice wife, a nice husband. They can't really understand this dham. But those persons who have Goswami vichar, who are following the mood of the 6 Goswamis and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they see this place as Gupta Vrindavan. They see this as a place where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's Krishna himself, where the place where Krishna came to taste the mood of Radharani in separation. So we want to come here with that conception. It's a very high thing, but we should have some conception about it. And armed with that conception, we want to go out on the street every day when we're going on Yatra, and we want to do Dham Seva. We want to serve this Dham and remind everyone what this place is for. And how do we do that Dham Seva? By very loud chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Satvik, you're going on Kirtan with the devotees? Yes? You chant loudly? Yes? Very good. Aapka bahut dhanyavad. So thank you all very much. We'll go ahead and stop there. Do we have any time for comments or questions? Or, yes? Does anybody has any questions or anything? A few. Prabhuji? Someone give him a mic, please. There's one right here. Turn it on. Yeah, just say loudly. My hearing's a little bad, so.
That lesson that you mentioned was like amazing.
Prabhuji's appreciating the story of Imli Tal.
So, Prabhuji, wanted to know, has any Acharya commented on this pastime and they have given this analysis?
Which pastime? Imli Tal?
That how Srimati Radharani, she's not able to experience, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not able to experience, because he comes in the mode of Krishna.
So he's asking if any of our acharyas have commented about this pastime at Imli Tal and the way that we gave. Well, yes and no. Jiva Goswami and Sanatana Goswami and other acharyas in the commentaries, sometimes they refer to what they call Sthala Puranas, which loosely translated in English could be said to be local tradition, what the local history is. And at Imli Tal, this is the local history that we hear. There's a Gaudiya Mutt temple there today. That was Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's favorite place in Braj. And I don't know where it was said, but I presume, because I've heard this from some of the disciples and followers of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, that this was his conception there. Is that helpful? Mataji, you had something? Is it working now? The mic?
Hey. So, Prabhuji, one more question. So, Gambhir, we understood Kashishwar Mishra is a personality from Mathura, and again, another personality. Afro, yes. So, these two personalities, so how do we reconcile the point of Gupta Vrindavan and this also having Mathura personalities?
Krishna told Kubja that he made a promise to her that I'm going to come and I'm going to stay in your house. He didn't exactly fulfill that promise. He went there with Uddhava, but he only stayed for a very short time and left. But he fulfilled his promise in Gaura Leela. And that same Kubja then was elevated technically it's called Sadharani Rati. She has a very common kind of Rati, a little lusty toward Krishna. That was raised, it was elevated, especially in the association of Sri Damodar and Roy Ramananda here in Jagannath, Puri. Is that helpful? Okay. Mataji had something?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Namaskara. Though I am not qualified, but I was thinking, we went for darshan yesterday. So I saw what is Jagannath, there was only Jagannath. So you are telling that the gopis came at the night, Gita Govinda, when it's played. But when in the altar Balram is there, how can gopis come in the same altar? So that was the question.
This is such a good question. This is a real question. Why did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have darshan of Jagannath standing by the Garuda Stamba? You should do some investigation today with this. Go and have darshan by the Garuda Stamba. I am a Bideshi. I'm practically the only thing I understand in Hindi or Odia, the two words, Bideshi Prabesh Nishad. So I can't say this thing, but I'm told that if you stand there, all you can see is Jagannath. You don't see Balaram and Subhadra, because in the mood of Radha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu become very shy around Balaram and Subhadra. And so he stood there by the Garuda Stamba every day for two reasons. One of which is Antaranga Karan, the internal purpose, that he wanted to see Jagannath. The other, the Bahiranga Karan, or external purpose, is to teach us the meaning of darshan. The darshan doesn't just mean that I go very close to the deity and I see him, but darshan means that he sees me. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta commented that Mahaprabhu in his Dainyabhav, his humility, he thought, why will Jagannath want to see me? Oh, but Jagannath likes Garuda very much. So I'll stand next to Garuda, and definitely Jagannath will look at Garuda, and then I'll be there standing next to Garuda, and maybe he'll also see me. So for those two reasons, is that helpful? Thank you. Anybody else with anything? Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Pranam. It was so nectarian class, I was thinking in between that it should continue. It was giving us so much of wealth of information, Prabhuji. I don't know words to express. I'm so unqualified to express that. Prabhuji, you mentioned about the 5 places where the store got melted. One is Jagannath, and it's in Arnastam, and other places, Prabhuji.
There's 3 places in the Jagannath Mandir. His footprints. We have in our ashram, by the way, someone took some kumkum and a cloth, and they made a print from those footprints we have in our ashram. 3 fingerprints. That's the second in the Jagannath Mandir on the doorway. The third is a handprint in front of Jagannath. A 4th place is the stone, Govardhan Shila, that Mahaprabhu melted his thumbprint. Now that Govardhan Shila today is in the temple of Radha Golokananda in Vrindavan. And the 5th place is Amarnath, which you're mentioning. So we want to, I want to ask the Ashirvad of all of you. You're all Shrestha Janas. You're all very qualified persons. I can see you're very cultured persons. I'm a very bad person. I have no good qualities. I come from a very bad birth in the West. But we're here, we're trying to do something. We have a research institute, and it's our desire to try to bring these 2 different things together. Jagannath, or Smarta Vichar, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or Goswami Vichar. By having a research institute, we want to bring together the Gaudiya conception and the Odia conception, the Gaudiya Research Association. That's our desire. We're just now starting, but Radhanath Maharaj and Indra Maharaj and some others are being very kind and supportive of us. We have a small team now, headed by Bhakta Rupa Prabhu, who's very kind. He beats me and keeps me in check sometimes. But we need the Ashirvad, the blessing of all of you. Also, one thing, if you don't mind me mentioning, a little commercial. It's not a commercial. It's a service. We can serve all of you. We have an email magazine called Sri Krishna Katamrita Bindu. We have about 10,000 readers, and it's been going on for 20 years now. And if you'd like to subscribe, you can get it for free. And you just, I'll send something, you can send it out to your WhatsApp group. You can subscribe by email, on WhatsApp, or on Telegram, as you like. So it's an invitation for you. Anybody with any last comments or questions or anything?
Hare Krishna. So one Mataji has asked, she's fearful of asking you the question. She asked me to ask you the question on our behalf. Where is Srimati Radharani in Jagannath Puri?
Ooh, that's a very big question. Huh? It's a very mysterious thing because we don't see her when we look to Jagannath, do we? Huh? We don't see Radharani there. So then where is Srimati Radharani? And we can understand that why would Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come here to Jagannath Puri if there's no Radharani? Why would Rupa Goswami, Srup Damodar Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Roy Ramananda, Gadadhar Pandit, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said there's no evidence that they ever went to Vrindavan. Some of these, Rupa and Sanatan went. But Gadadhar Pandit, Srup Damodar, Roy Ramananda said there's no evidence they ever went to Vrindavan, but they stayed here. For them, Radharani is everything. Kotai Radha. Where is Radharani? In the 6th verse of the Jagannath Ashtakam, it's described, Param Brahma Pira Kuvalaya Dolot Fula Nayano Nibasi Nilado Nehita Charano Nanta Sirasi Rasanandi Radha Sadasava Pur Alingana Sukho Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatume Rasanandi Radha Sadasava Pur Alingana Sukho. The Jagannath is always embracing Radha. So you go for darshan today. Jagannath is always embracing Radha. So where's Radha? I don't see it. If you look at Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where's Krishna? I don't see it. He's a golden complexioned person. Krishna's black. But it's described Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. He's a combined form of Radha and Krishna. Radha Bhava Dhyuti Sivali Tam Nomi Krishna Sarupam. Krishna Sarup, Krishna's on the inside, and on the outside is the mood and complexion of Radha. Now with Jagannath, every approximately 14 years, it's a long complicated discussion, there's a ceremony called Navakalevaram. I've been here for 2 so far. At Navakalevaram is when they change the body of Lord Jagannath. Now, an important aspect of deity worship is that there's a mantra that they chant over the deity, which gives the deity the conception of who the deity is. The technical thing. You buy a deity in Vrindavan, but the deity doesn't know who he is. I'm just a piece of stone, and you have to tell me. So there's a nyasa mantra. That nyasa mantra, traditionally the pujaris, they chant that mantra of the different angas, the different limbs of the body of the Lord, and it gives them, the Lord says, okay, that's who I am. All right. And as part of the deity installation, I found out the nyasa mantra for the Navakalevaram. Many of the Pandits don't know this mantra. We found out this mantra that they use to install Lord Jagannath. Very interesting. We wrote about it in this magazine. That mantra is a Radha mantra. Rasanandi Radha Sadasa Vapur Alingana Sukha. But Alingana, Jagannath is embracing Radha. In Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna's on the inside and Radha's on the outside. But in the case of Jagannath, it's the opposite. On the inside is Radha, Alingana Sukh. Jagannath is embracing her. But on the outside, he's Kaliya, blackish Krishna, Jagannath. And we found some other different pramanas also to support this conception of where Radharani is. And how could it be otherwise? Because Raghunath Das Goswami in his Nima Dastakam, in his 10 verses, self-declared vows, he says, I won't go anywhere with Radharani's not present. He says, even if Krishna personally requests me, sends me an email, Raghunath, I want you to come here now. He says, I'm not going to go there. He says, but if I hear that Radharani, out of some madness, she left Vrindavan and she went to Dwarka, even without any invitation, I'm running there as fast as I can. This is the mood of Gaudiya Vaishnavism towards Srimati Radharani. It's very eccentric, very exclusive. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta at one point, he said that the only reason we worship Krishna is because Radharani likes him. Our mood is predominantly towards Srimati Radharani. So Radharani has to be here. Otherwise, why would Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come here? How could he fulfill his 3 desires here? Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kiddhi Sovanayaiva. It's a postgraduate subject. The 6th verse of the Adi Lila Chaitanya Charitamrita describes 3 reasons why Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says those 3 desires were fulfilled in the Gambhira, not in Mayapur, and not even in Vrindavan. I'm sorry, Ayendra Prabhu. But they were fulfilled here in Jagannath Puri Dham. Is that helpful? I hope.
So, is that the reason why Jagannath is dressed in the female attire?
Why Jagannath?
He is dressed in that sari and the nose ring.
I wouldn't exactly say that. They don't conceive him dressed as a lady, but they wrap that cloth around him. It's it's true, but he's not dressed exactly like a lady. We have one of those nose rings in our ashram here. Anybody else with anything? Okay, I have to tell all of you something final, okay? I was warned about you guys. And they told me, those devotees from Bangalore, they're very, very nice devotees, but they can be dangerous. So they told me. They said, when they get hungry, they're a very dangerous person. So I don't want to, it's very risky for me right now. I think we should stop here and we should have prasadam. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada Ke Prem Anande Vansakalpatarubhishcha Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Ananda Kori Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai.
His Grace Madhavanand Prabhu ki. Once again, just to remind, before you go prasadam,